Good evening, C3 parents. I'm your coach Karim Pito, and welcome to another live stream. All right, so tonight I'm actually going to talk about why my kids are not on social media, why at least I personally don't share things, or not things, but share videos or photos or things like that about my kids. And the reason being is twofold. But before I dive into that conversation, guys, look at down in the description down below. There is a link to the Patreon, which is our parenting club. It literally in South African rands, it works at close to 75 rand a month. It's only $3 a month. It helps this channel keep growing. And then you also get extra videos, podcasts, and extra information and additional support on your parenting journey. So let's dive into the conversation as to why I do not share as a parenting coach, as a, well, some people would say parenting coach slash mommy blogger or parenting blogger, why I do not share photos and videos of our children. It actually harks back to the idea that, and I actually had to grow into this. I personally had to grow into this. When I was pregnant with my eldest, um, there was nothing more that I wanted to do than share on social media this journey of parenting and, taking pride in my kid. And the more I, like, throughout the journey of the pregnancy and that first year of parenthood, I realized more and more that this child of mine, and when we had our second kid, these children of ours deserves the same kind of anonymity and privacy that we had as kids. Obviously, family would share amongst each other, and family friends will share about the journey that we as kids, they would actually see us grow up. So obviously stories were swapped out and things were discussed. But when we were at our worst, there was no one standing behind a camera and documenting this. When we had quirky things that we said, obviously, if there was a family video camera available, the recording would happen, but it wasn't shared throughout the world. It didn't have the opportunity to go viral. And today I appreciate that, because the person that I was as a kid, even though fully human, I was still learning, I was still developing, and I was a brat. And we don't want people to judge us on things we did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, because we want to believe that people grow and develop. Unfortunately, in the age of the internet is permanent. Even if you remove it yourself, you don't know who copied or shared those photos or those videos of your children to the erase. So it doesn't necessarily mean that your child actually remains anonymous. So that is one of the reasons is the anonymity that our children deserve. Um, Being able to grow up, being protected, and having the same room and space to, when they one day step out into the world, they don't have this backlog of internet data that trails behind them, that shows who they used to be and not confirm who they are now. They do not get to curate or edit their backstory, not backstory, but what they show to the world. If we keep on sharing whatever's on, what we want to share on social media. The other thing is, besides the anonymity and the privacy of the kids, the C3 parenting brand could have probably grown exponentially if I told the story of my own parenting journey, with photos of the kids and videos of the kids and intimate details, and that intimate journey. The reality, though, is there's more than one person in that parenting journey. I'm not just standing alone as a parent. My partner, Habitron, is not standing alone in their parenting journey, even, and we are a team, but there's kids involved as well. The kids stand in this journey, they are part of this conversation, and they need to be able to make an informed decision, be able to give consent to something. And I think that is the thing that kind of goals me personally. And this is not an attack on any other person or any other social media person who decides, mommy blogger, parenting person, coach, whatever, whoever is playing in the same sphere as what I'm working, or not playing, working in the same sphere as what I'm working. This is not a criticism on you if you decide to share with your children. This is just a personal reason, personal decision why we just, not we just, I personally decided that I'm not going to do this. To me, it does not make sense to share things of our kids when they're not old enough to be able to give proper informed consent. Think about when you were 12, even if you go look at the 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds and their TikTok and their social media, kind of things that they um, they say, and so how often do you go like, oh, my sweet summer child, where you realize like, oh, there's so much innocence, and on the other hand, not just innocence, but there's so much growth that still needs to happen, and that you wish you could like just protect that kid. Um, the same goes for using them as material for whatever I'm doing. I'm the one that chose to become a parenting coach. I'm the one that chose to do the YouTube channel, to be on social media, to do all these things and share my knowledge. They did not choose that. They did not choose to step into the public eye. And they're most definitely not old enough to step into the public eye. If we believe that kids cannot actually make a proper informed or give proper informed consent before the age of 18 or 20, 21, depending on which country you live, to sign a contract or a lease, or to make a date, to drive a vehicle, so much more your child at that young age, under that age, cannot really give consent, informed consent, um, of us sharing what their lives with the rest of the world. Yes, I will share some anecdotes, some moments of my personal journey as a parent, but it's always focused on what I did and how I handled it, and trying to keep the children as sidelined almost, if that's the right word, sidelined as possible. And then that it's about their privacy, it's about their inability to be able to give consent. Then there is the whole thing of safety. um I know there's a lot of parents that say, oh yeah, but it's only family that's on social media, it's only um this or that, and I've set it to private settings, so only these people have access to videos or photos of my kid. The reality is, if you go and look at statistics regarding grooming, regarding child pairing, regarding abuse of children, a lot of the times, not a lot of times, the largest percentage, and I actually did look up the numbers and I don't have the numbers in front of me at the moment, but it's over 70 or 80% of your predators are people we trust to share this information with. It is so easy for your social media to get hacked. And I don't want my children's photos, even if it's when they're all happy, like videos when they're all like happy, 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 shared on any platform for whatever purpose. Um, to me, that is not it's just not fair. Yes, do I use photographs for my thumbnails or for certain things of children? Yes, but those are photographs that is done with models, modeling. It is not a private photo, it is not a photo that steps invasively into a child's life. And so, yes, I use that, but I also try to use as little as possible of that. It's honestly, to me, children deserve more than what we're giving them, and they deserve more. They actually deserve more privacy than what we're giving them. The same way that you would not appreciate people sharing photos or your moments of weakness or your moments of whatever happens, without your permission, or something that might put you in a bad light, that same way our children deserve that kind of privacy, in the same way they deserve not to be plastered all over social media and in the hopes that something goes viral. And I'm not saying all parents that share photos and videos and all of that is in the hopes of going viral. What I'm saying is, unfortunately, the internet is designed to, like, the bashing of kids, somehow finds a way of going viral at a phenomenal pace, using the social media as a form of shaming our kids. There's just so much, and I'm like kind of going off topic because it makes me really get galls me, seeing, like, there was now recently a video going around of a teenager that got drunk, dragged by the parent out of the club, and my whole thought process is, kids make choices because their brain is not developed fully. They don't know how everything's going to fall together. They can't really look into the future. Think about yourself. If you go, do yourself a favor, if you've been on social media for 5 years or 10 years, just go look back at what you posted 10 years ago, and some of the photos, some of the things you share, you go like, oh my word, I can't believe. And probably at that particular point in time, you were probably already over the age of 25, where the logical part of your brain is supposed to be fully mature and capable of reasoning, like how the dominoes will fall. But obviously, as we grow older, we get new knowledge, even more so protecting our kids from that fallout. It is not a secret that businesses use social media to do a background check on whomever they employ. Yes, it is discrimination to decide, well, I'm not going to employ someone that did XYZ. And yes, the reason is like, yeah, but if they look at something that I did when I was 4 years old, or when my child was, and then decide they're not going to employ my child, then I understand that, sure, a 4-year-old throwing a tantrum, not so much bigger issue. But if we go and look at what stuff gets shared about kids by their parents, we are doing children a big injustice, because they're going to grow up to become adults, and they're going to have to deal with these stuff lying around on the internet and being available for all to see, because you can never truly scrub the internet. The internet's forever. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Just to sum up, what I'm saying tonight is, the personal decision of why I don't share things about or not things, don't share photos, videos, bad moments, anything like that about my kids, but only every now and again anecdotally information about experiences that I do have with my kids as a parent, from a parenting perspective. First of all, their privacy. Second of all, the anonymity that they deserve. Thirdly, they deserve the respect of their humanity. They cannot give consent, and the internet is forever, and you get petty people out there. So guys, please stay safe. Oh, and the last one, safety. Safety was not even a concern, like in the beginning when we started our parenting journey. We didn't even think that predators would do the things that they do, but it's been proven they do the things they do. Keep your kids off social media. Anyway, stay safe, have a beautiful evening, and we'll soon have another parenting coach reacts video coming out. I'm busy working on it. Stay safe, and remember to join us on Patreon and hit that like button and help this channel grow. Cheers.